What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NYG Blue Zone. It's your boy Atticus. Today is victory. Well, it's actually Victory Tuesday because Monday I was really busy, didn't have a chance to do a video for you guys. But the Giants hosted the Dallas Cowboys, beat them 34-17. My son and I went to the game, and it's so funny because on the ride down, my son said, Dad, the Giants are going to win this game. And they're going to put up 34 points. And they did. They put up 34 points, and they won the game. They ain't just win the game, but they won it convincingly. It wasn't even a real contest, to be honest with you. And I honestly thought that the Dallas Cowboys had more to play for than the Giants, but they ended up sitting Dak Prescott for the second half. And the Giants, they did their thing. So lots and lots of stuff to talk about, though. Oh, man. People were getting fired left and right yesterday. People have been fired so far today. The day's still young. More people may lose their jobs. I think we saw the last of Mike Kafka, maybe Charlie Bullen. And I think that those guys will find jobs wherever they go. Tim Kelly's probably going to be out of a job. Surely, I can't remember his name right now, but the special teams coordinator is likely going to be out of a job. I really hope Carmen Brasillo keeps his job. And a lot of us felt like Joe Shane should lose his job, but he has been retained. It's been confirmed by ownership that they are going to rock out with him. In fact, he made some signings today as a result of him being retained as the general manager. So that's a foregone conclusion. A lot of us wanted to see him gone, but he is here, and we need to get behind him because he's going to be our GM at least for another year. And there's so much other things I want to talk about. So many things. There's so many different potential candidates to be our head coach, our offensive coordinator, our defensive coordinator. Got the draft coming up. We got free agency coming up. We've got players that are going to be coming back from injury who we're looking forward to suiting back up. We got some season-ending stats. We got some players that are never going to play for the Giants again. We're going to talk about all those things, but it's going to take a few shows to get through it all. But today, I just want to recap the final game of the season. I didn't get to do that with you guys. It was a fun game. But before I talk about all that, if you like our content, you like the way that we deliver from New York Giants fans, from our perspective, how we feel about the team, how we feel about the players, how we feel about roster construction, how we feel about our coaches, how we feel about the development. If you like what we deliver, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time we drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. So we had a game on Sunday, 1 p.m. kickoff, Giants Stadium. It was, I got to tell you, going to the game, I was really conflicted because, I've been a Giants fan for as long as I can remember. I'm in my mid-50s, and this is just a part of my identity at this point. Everybody that knows me knows every day I'm rocking something New York Giants, whether it's one of my fitteds, whether it's one of my jackets, whatever it is, it's going to be something that's New York Giants. I even got personalized plates on my cars that are dedicated to the New York Giants. And living in Pennsylvania, it wasn't hard to get NYG as my plate and G-Men as my plate for my pickup truck. And that's how we roll out here. I am in Eagles country, and I represent the New York Football Giants, and I don't care who got whatever to say about it. Them my boys. I caught hell when Deshaun Jackson ripped our hearts out during a Miracle at the Meadowlands, and I did not give a shit. I wore all my Giants gear proudly and didn't care what anybody had to say. In fact, I welcomed it. Bring it. Nobody's hurt me more than the New York Football Giants over the last decade. So when these fans who are just as passionate about their teams have something to say to me, bring it. It's all good because I love the Giants. I've been a season ticket holder for many years. I drive to the games. Some of my friends want to go, and we'll go together. My kids are Giants. This is who I am, and I love who I am. It's fun being a Giants fan. Not the last 10 years, but for the most part, it's been fun, right? So And what was really cool was I was at the stadium this Sunday, and I sat next to these two gentlemen in the what is it called, the Miller Lite Club now, and they were having a beer and just come in from tailgating, and they were frozen to the bone, and they were red and all of this other stuff, and they were talking about different things. And I said, "Hey, you mind taking a picture of my son and I?" And they said, "Sure, I'll take a picture." And they took a picture, and then we just started talking Giants football. And the guy who I was sitting next to, his name was Mike. And Mike told me that he's been a season ticket holder since 1986, and he has only missed one game that he hasn't come to. And I was impressed with that because for those of you who are diehard Giants fans like me, it's been some tough sledding over the years. We've had some stretches where it was very difficult to stay as dedicated of a fan as we typically are. 1986. That's a long time to go through some of the seasons that we have gone through. But he was saying how he feels so encouraged about this team that we have. He also displayed a level of encouragement about Joe Shane that I don't share, but I listened to what he had to say. And when I offered my perspective, he thought, I didn't think about it that way. So I wasn't trying to change his mind. I was just trying to tell him the way I see things. But it was a really good conversation. And one of the things that I am confident about, not just about the performance last week against the Cowboys, which, by the way, we finally got the monkey off our back. And I don't want to hear shit about it. It was the Cowboys. It was the last game of the season. Their defense is I don't care. We finally beat the Cowboys, right? Yes, it would have been better to get the number 2 overall pick in the draft, but we beat the Cowboys finally. We can end that narrative, right? We don't have to be no asterisks behind it. We beat them. They didn't beat us. And the fact that we put belt to ass and beat them 34-17, by the way, the same way we beat the brakes off the Eagles on Thursday Night Football, 34-17, that's a statement. That is a statement. I don't want to hear nothing about Dak Prescott did not play the second half. I don't give a shit he didn't play. The Dallas Cowboys sent players on the field who they felt could give them an opportunity to win a game, and they didn't win. We beat that ass, and that's what I came away with. Even though we didn't get the number 2 pick in the draft, we beat the Cowboys to conclude our season. In fact, we should have lost last week to the Raiders too, but at the same time, the Giants finished year 2025 by beating one team's ass in another conference and started 2026 by beating another team's ass in another conference. I'm really not that mad at that, particularly when it shook out where we have the number 5 pick in the draft. The worst we were going to be was 7, but we're 5. I am okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, that's fine. But here's what I'm going to say. We saw some things this Sunday, regardless of whether or not these coaches are going to be returning or not. We saw some things from our players. Some of this stuff that Jaxson Dart is doing cannot be coached. That's not just a talent thing. That's just improvising in a situation where the play is broken down and it looks like there is no good options here. And he comes up with an option that not only works out, but turns into points. I don't want to hear nothing about Mendoza again. We have our quarterback. And I will dare say that the New York Football Giants in 2026 is a viable playoff contender. And if anybody doesn't think that that's true, you are divorced from reality. I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know if you understand football. I don't know if you understand talent because, and I am not trying to big up Joe Shane in any way, but what I will say is we got some pieces. We got some pieces that's going to make this head coaching position, this offensive coordinator position, this defensive coordinator position extremely attractive for some good coaches. Not some guy who he finally did good and had a good season as an OC or a DC. No, I'm talking about some proven coaches who have shown what they can do in this league. We are attractive once again as a franchise. And we're attractive being 4-13. So anybody who thinks that we are not, I don't know what you talk, I don't know what you watching. I don't even want to talk to you because I don't think that you have a clue. I just don't think you have a clue. So the game, think about this for a second. The New York Giants took the field. They're missing, obviously, Malik Neighbors. Darius Slayton is regressing in a way that's very unfortunate because I happen to like the guy. We did not have Wan'Dale Robinson on the field. We did not have Cam Scatterboo on the field. We're missing Andrew Thomas. These are some of those pieces that normally when the Giants take the field and you're missing that many players who are keys, who are key men to your offense, it usually results in a disaster. That's not what happened on Sunday. On a Sunday when you would think we want it to happen, that's not what happened. Do you know what happened? The Giants had, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 possessions. They had 10 possessions on Sunday. First possession did not look good at all, but they got the ball again. They had 10 possessions, and they had a punt, field goal, field goal, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, fumble, field goal, touchdown, punt. And, might I add, on one of those touchdowns, they had a 2-point conversion. That 2-point conversion had me like, yo, what did they do? What? Oh, he threw it. He caught it. It was great. It was great. Devin Singletary threw the ball to Sugarwater Hand Slayton, who converted on a 2-point conversion, something that we have not been able to do. And he did, well, since we had Cam Scatterboo out there, that is. And I was like, wow. So, yes, number 2 pick would have been nice, but when you get a chance to beat the brakes off of the Dallas Cowboys, come on, man. You got to take advantage of that opportunity. And like I said, don't tell me nothing about Dak Prescott wasn't playing for the second half, because even if he was out there, the way that game was going, listen, and the Cowboys were able to run the ball at will at different points throughout the game. But once the momentum shifted in the Giants' favor, it was over. I don't know if there was anything that they could have done. Tyrone Tracy Jr. had 113 rushing yards that game or something like that. Let me bring up the stats real quick because I just thought that was crazy what he was able to do. Tyrone Tracy Jr. had 103 rushing yards. He had 5.7 yards per carry. Devin Singletary had 2.9 yards a carry. And Jaxson Dart, let's talk about him for a second. I kind of want to talk about a couple of these players for a second because I just saw exactly what I would want to see from these players to close out the season on a high note, right? So Jaxson Dart went 22 of 32 for 230 passing yards. He had a completion percentage of 68.75%. He averaged 7.2 yards per pass, 2 passing touchdowns, and he was sacked 4 times. Took too many sacks, I will say that. One of those he should have absolutely thrown the ball away, but he was trying to create when the situation just didn't offer a good option. But he's got to do better with not taking sacks. But then again, Jadeveon Clowney just had a game, so you got to give him credit too. The guy was out there balling, trying to make sure that Dallas, whether it be Dallas or another team, sees value in having him on an NFL roster next year. And he had a great game for a 32-year-old defensive end. So Jaxson Dart did finish with a 110.2 quarterback rating, though. The kid had a really good game. He also escaped the pocket a few times, and he had 5 rushes for 32 yards. And on one of those escape things you just simply can't coach, this guy's about to get sacked, underhand passes the ball to Bellinger. Bellinger finds a way to skate out to the right side of the sideline, march up the field for a touchdown. Incredible. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see. In fact, that's the stuff that you would typically see another team doing to us. But this time, we were the ones with the belt, and we were the ones whooping that ass. I liked it. I liked what I saw from Jaxson Dart. I thought that he made some very good business decisions on the field. I think that there were times when you would normally think, oh my God, he's going to get clocked. He's going to get his bell rung. When he ran out of bounds, when he took a knee or slid, when he avoided unnecessary contact. That's what you want to see from Jaxson Dart, that he has learned that whether it's true or not, the narrative that he's concussion prone, other players have been looking to target him, and he is not putting himself in harm's way the same way that he did. And he didn't compromise his game in making sure that he kept himself healthy to finish out the game. And I really liked what I saw from him. That one play was a trick play that was drawn up by Mike Kafka, where it was a double reverse. Gunnar Olszewski had the ball. He was going to pass the ball to Chris Manhurst, and he underthrew him. What an opportunity that was. That wasn't on Kafka. That was clearly on Gunnar Olszewski. The play worked to perfection, and it's unfortunate that it didn't result in a completed catch, even if he would have been caught shy of the goal line, which I think he would have been able to negotiate that tackle and get in. It was still drawn up beautifully, well executed, except for the pass by Gunnar Olszewski. I ain't mad at him because Gunnar had himself a day too. Gunnar had 8 receptions for 102 yards. I thought I was looking at Julian Edelman out there. That guy had 9 targets, caught the ball 8 times. He was far more reliable than Darius Slayton, because remember, Darius Slayton had 9 targets, but only 4 receptions because he just can't seem to catch the ball. In fact, we were in the stadium, and I was saying to the people who we were sitting next to that if they throw the ball to Slayton, there's a 1 in 4 chance he's going to catch it. But if they throw it to Gunnar, he's going to catch it. And every time Jaxson Dart threw the ball to Gunnar, he seemed to catch the ball and convert on a 3rd down when we needed him to. And how about Tyrone Tracy Jr.? Tyrone Tracy Jr., I started to talk about him a little bit earlier. 103 rushing yards. 2nd year in a row that he's amassed 1,000 yards of production on a season. Listen, Tyrone Tracy Jr. is a good running back. Cam Scatterboo came in there and showed us something that we were not expecting. So he didn't lose his job to Scatterboo because he wasn't good. He lost it because Scatterboo is just unbelievable. But Scatterboo plays where he's probably going to have a shelf life of his career of 3 or 4 years the way he goes at it. And you want to have Tracy back there. Can you imagine moving forward having Tyrone Tracy Jr., Cam Scatterboo, Turbo Miller? I like Devin Singletary too, but I think we need to elevate Turbo Miller finally because that kid is explosive. He's good, and he's fast as shit. I don't know why he doesn't get more playtime. Maybe if he is kept and the new personnel comes in, he'll start to see some more opportunities. But I like our running back room. Devin Singletary quietly had a decent game. He's very good in pass protection. He was able to accumulate 26 rushing yards, and he had a rushing touchdown. He is really good in the red zone where we're up close. He is really good at getting that ball in and punching it in. He knows the right seam to get to, and he did it again on Sunday. I was very happy to see him work out there. And again, I've always talked about how Daniel Bellinger is just pretty reliable. Every now and then he'll drop a pass or he'll miss time is every now and then. But overall, Belly is good. Belly catches what's thrown his way, even when it's something that's completely manufactured. The ball is wobbling the wrong way. Jaxson Dart's falling and is flicking it. He still catches it, and he turns it into a touchdown. How can you not like Daniel Bellinger and his consistency at delivering what you want him to deliver? I thought that Isaiah Hodgins would have been more involved in the game, but I was okay with the fact that in a couple of situations he was a decoy, and Jaxson Dart only targeted him one time. But that one time, I really think it was to try to draw a penalty. I don't even think he was trying to convert on that. But overall, offensively, I thought Mike Kafka called a really good game. Like I said, they had 10 possessions, and of those 10 possessions, they had 7 scoring drives. And to be perfectly honest with you, on that one drive that turned into a fumble that Tyrone Tracy Jr. lost, That might have been a scoring drive as well because they were in scoring position there too. Overall, an excellent performance by the New York Giants on Sunday. Way to finish out the season, even though they hurt themselves in draft positioning. Listen, I wasn't mad at them. If you're gonna win a game, you win it this way. And what a better way to do it than against a division opponents in the Dallas Cowboys. And I ain't forget the Dallas Cowboys allowed the Philadelphia Eagles to bunny hop us and get Devontae Smith a few years back. So, I do carry resentments like that. Call me Captain Petty, Chief Petty Officer. I don't give a shit. I was happy that we beat the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. And honestly, I'm a win fan first. I'm really not a tank to get a better pick type of guy because the truth of the matter is anybody coming out of college is an unproven commodity and you don't know what you got until you get them. I'll give you a case in point. We knew that Scatterboo would be decent. Did we know he would be this? I don't think so. We knew Jaxson Dart was going to be decent. Did we know he was going to be this? I don't think so. By the way, I think that he made his case. He made his case and probably etched it in stone that he should be the offensive rookie of the year. He should. When you look at Tyler Suge, when you look at some of the other players that are also spoken in that same air, he delivered the most. The kid had 24 touchdowns and only started 12 games. Had that been extended out, that number would have likely been 34 touchdowns, 3,900 yards. But what did he finish with? He finished the year with 2,272 yards, extended to a full 17-game season. That would have been 3,900 yards. That's an impressive year for a rookie quarterback. Tyrone Tracy Jr. had a good year too, 700. Like I said, he eclipsed 1,000 yards. Him and Wan'Dale Robinson. Tyrone Tracy Jr. matched up with Malik Neighbors last year. Both of them had 1,000. This year's him and Wan'Dale Robinson. Brian Burns. Brian Burns was a little quiet yesterday. He did have some pressures. He was out there hustling and doing what we want him to do. Let me see what his final numbers were. Brian Burns. He did have a solo tackle, a tackle for a loss. I don't remember him having any sacks, but he did have some pressure. He put pressure on the quarterback yesterday. A lot of guys had some really good games. Bobby Okereke, second week in a row where he got an interception. He's just a tackling machine. And then a lot of people are saying, and rightfully so, the numbers are a little bit skewed because by the time the running back from whoever we're playing reaches the second level, which they should not have, Bobby Okereke is there to clean it up. So he's still top 5 in the league in tackling, which is something that should be pretty much noteworthy. Peyton had a good game coming in off the practice squad. I thought that he did well as you can expect as a guy coming in cold, playing the last game of the season and cold. Speaking of cold, oh my, it was cold out there. It was freezing out there. And those Meadowlands winds was not forgiving. So if you came there and you sat through that game, you was a dedicated fan, which was also cool to see so many, because y'all know over the years, fans have come to Giant Stadium and treated it like it was an Airbnb and just took over, and you would hear more opposing team fans than Giants fans. Not this Sunday. There was a lot of Cowboys fans there. Cowboy fans, they travel well, but they did not take over our state. It was cold out there for them. It was bitter cold for them. Yo, because we put that heat, we put the heat on them. It was an overall really good time to go to a game, especially if, and there are a lot of people who made it to their first Giants game ever, and they got to see their team play, and they were treated because not for nothing, whenever you get to play a division game, it's usually a tough game. This was also the last game of the season, but the first game of 2026. And it was against the Dallas Cowboys, who've pretty much owned us since Dak Prescott was in his second year as a pro. He has really owned the Giants. And again, I don't want to hear shit about he didn't play the whole game. It wouldn't have mattered. The Giants wanted it more. It was evident in so many ways. So if you think about the numbers, just let's take a look at that. Dak Prescott, he finished the game 7 for 11 for 70 yards, and he did that in 2 full quarters of play. 2 full quarters of play. So I don't want to hear it. Milton didn't do much better. 7 to 13 for 73 yards and an interception. They look like dog shit. But I tell you what, they got a running back. That kid Blue, he pretty good. He's pretty good. He had that 27-yard long run. I mean, the Giants have been really bad against the run all year, so you just kind of knew whoever was going to be back there running the ball was going to do okay. But at no point for this whole game did you feel like the Cowboys were going to win. Maybe after the first drive, you were like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out. But overall, it just felt like the Giants were in control. They were able to do whatever they really wanted to do. And then when things did not work out, Jaxson Dart was able to create, whether it was with his legs or whether it was with his arm. And guys like Gunnar Olszewski, they stepped up big time, and people are talking about Illuminor yielding all of these different sacks to Clowney. But Clowney he's good, man. And Illuminor, yeah, he could have done better, but it was the last game of the season for him too. I still think the Giants need to find a way to sign him because he is better as a Giant than anybody else we've had over there on the right side for a long time. So, I mean, just look at some of these numbers. George Pickens only had 1 reception. CeeDee Lamb had 1 reception. The Giants really shut these guys down. And it was exciting and it was fun. But like I said, there's some guys who will probably never put on a Giants uniform again. And we're going to go through the whole list of players who may be here, may not be here moving forward. But overall, I just wanted to share with you guys what my experience was like at the last game of the season. The New York Giants beat the Dallas Cowboys 34-17. And I should point out also that the Giants scored 37 points against the Cowboys the first time they faced them this year. They scored 34 points on them the second time they faced them this year, which is probably a record somewhere. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But to put up that many points against a division opponent, 71 points in the same season against one team, that means your defense ain't shit. They're pretty freaking bad. And the Giants have been on that side of the equation for several different years. And it's nice to not be that team anymore. It's nice to be able to say we got a 2-game winning streak. We ended the year with a victory. We started the year with the victory. And they weren't just victories. They were belt to ass, handled our business. And people can see that the Giants, and I hate to say this, but it's so true, it's the best 4-13 team I have ever seen in my life. They will be playoff contenders next year. If Joe Shane gets the head coaching pick right, and subsequently the head coach gets the OC, DC, and special teams coordinators right, and they continue to develop these players, we will do fine. Yes, we will. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Check us out in future episodes. We're going to break down different position groups. We're going to break down, obviously, head coaching candidates. We're going to talk about OC candidates, DC candidates. We're going to talk special teams. There's some good names out there right now. And I think that if there is a location that is desired the most, it's slightly tainted with Joe Shane still being there, but I don't think that'll be too much of a reason for somebody to say, yeah, I'm going to pass on the Giants. But if there's an attractive location, destination for a head coach to come to, I think the Giants is probably the best one. The Raiders might be because they're going to draft their quarterback of the future. It might be a really good place to go too. Surprised that Aaron Glenn kept his job in with the Jets because, I mean, there's losing and then there's that. And that was pretty bad. But the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know who really wants to go to Atlanta. I mean, it's obviously any NFL football team to be considered to be a head coach is an honor that you just got to take seriously. But I really don't know that there's another team that other coaches would want to go to and coach at that is a better situation than the Giants. They got a lot of cap room. They're going to be able to do what they want to do in free agency. They have a very high draft pick. All their key positions have been filled. They already had their franchise quarterback. They got good talent on rookie deals. And when you think about it, a couple of the signings that they need to do, which is right tackle, they need to do something with Thibodeau. And I think they're going to find a way to keep him also because he has quietly had a really good year up until he had that shoulder injury. Not in sacks, but in every other category. He's had a really good year. And then they got to figure out what they're going to do with Wandale. But the Giants they're in a decent place to be the home of a new head coach, And no, don't talk about Bill Belichick. Please, for the love of God, I don't want to see Bill Belichick here. And not because I don't like him. He is not the guy for this situation. He is not. His best days were in New England, period. Now, if we would have gotten him 5 years before he retired from New England, fine. But at this point, no, I don't think so. I'm ready to move on from that whole idea and thought. So anyway, if you like the content that we give, you like what we have to say, please continue to engage with us, by the way, on social media. We're everywhere. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on Threads. We're on Insta. Obviously, you found us here on YouTube. Keep the engagement coming. And if you know somebody who will like our channel, let them know. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So every time we drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. Yo, it's the end of another season. We'll be back. We got so much content coming your way. But for now, here's to the end of the 2025 season. Giants 4-13 with a bright future ahead. Go Big Blue.
Yeah, a lot of girls probably crying from my old high school. Look, they see me everywhere they go. I probably would too. Look, crossed over to the Jordan man like I'm Michael. Yeah, eating blessings so much I might need lipo. Yeah, tailored for the dogs like I'm walking in chucks. Yeah, it's just in this plan, man, I see how y'all shook. Look, knew that I was great ever since I was a rook. Man, all y'all singles making me look good. Okay, praise to the Most High, yeah, that's Jesus. Look, but when it come to this rap thing, I can't lose. Yeah, back-to-back number ones, that's the thing greats do. Yeah, tell them boys that ain't nothing I can't do. It's my year. It's my year.